It's just what's bothering me is that being a celebrity sometimes comes with, like, everybody wants to be successful in a celebrity and stuff like that, but it comes with, bullshit sometimes, and you know.
What is going on? People don't understand. Like, you really do not know what happens to some of these celebrities and stuff behind closed doors. Because when they come out, they have these moments like this where they just doing things that are out of the ordinary. Like, you looking like, what's tea? Like, what is going on?
Seriously, how many men have had to give up their dignity just to get a chance in Hollywood? Every day, there's another story about a talented star getting chewed up and spit out by the industry. Taraji P. Henson has been open about how hard she had to fight just to earn her spot. And now, with everything coming out about her Empire co-stars Bryshere Gray and Terrence Howard, it's pretty clear why she's speaking up louder than ever. Hollywood has a way of covering up real problems and shutting down the people who try to call them out. The way Diddy allegedly used Bryshere and then tried to pull the same moves on Terrence has people online going wild. Honestly, it's all a huge mess, and every day it feels like more people are lucky just because Diddy's finally facing consequences. There's a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. If you missed the chaos on Bryshere's Twitter lately, consider yourself lucky. You saved yourself from seeing some things you really can't unsee. Honestly, curiosity would have been your worst enemy there, because once you see it, there's no going back. To catch you up if you didn't know, after getting blackballed in Hollywood and struggling to find work, Bryshere started an OnlyFans account. At first, he was just posting thirst traps, but it quickly spiraled. He ended up exposing himself and doing explicit stuff live on camera. Sure, people post wild things online all the time, but nobody expected that from Bryshere, especially after the success he had from Empire. Things got even messier when he started working with gay and trans creators. At first, it was just them, performing on him, and then it went further. He started letting them dominate him. He was even posting stuff like, "I need my kissed, I feel like sucking D and balls." And honestly, it was just sad to see. And all this was just for some quick OnlyFans cash. He's still pretty active on Twitter if you really want to go see it, but nothing can prepare you for what's on there. Nobody's saying Bryshere isn't responsible for his choices. He's grown, but it's heartbreaking to see the difference between who he is now and the young, talented guy everyone met on Empire. When Bryshere got into Hollywood at 17, he was supposedly mentored by Diddy and Will Smith. According to Jaguar Wright, his mother Andrea basically handed him over to the industry predators. Andrea and Bryshere's manager, Charlie Mack, introduced him to Will Smith to help with his acting, and later Diddy stepped in to boost his music career. And let's be real, nothing good ever seems to come from those so-called mentorship setups. I mean, people still remember the shady stuff that happened at Diddy's flavor camp.
You happy now? He's a gay porn star. Are you happy now, Andy? For a book that didn't sell? I hope that new husband of yours leaves you. And maybe it's time you tell your son why his father is really in jail, his biological father, for all of his life, and what you had to do with it.
Jaguar Wright was one of the first to speak out about this situation, and she didn't hold back when it came to Bryshere's mom. She had some strong words, accusing her of selling her son to the highest bidder, setting him up for failure in Hollywood.
Bisexual, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them and their men.
By the time Bryshere's so-called mentorship ended, he had already been exploited and passed around among the powerful people in Hollywood. His career was effectively over, and things have been a mess for him ever since Empire ended in 2020. His wife even had to be rescued from him after she fled their apartment, claiming he had been abusive for a while before she finally found a way to escape. When the police arrived to arrest him, it took hours to get him to the station, and his mugshot showed a completely different side of him. Since then, every news story about him has been negative. Now, while he's an adult responsible for his actions, it's clear that trauma has a way of turning someone into a shadow of themselves, making them act out in ways that are completely out of character. It's similar to what happened with Orlando Brown, who also opened up about being used by the industry. And now Terrence Howard has come forward with his own story about his experience with Diddy.
Me for weeks asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music, and he's sitting there, just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, You know, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck.
I mean, when someone like Diddy says he wants to hang out with you, it's usually a red flag for something else. Don't you remember what 50 Cent had to say about him?
He doesn't even know what he's saying is like fruity. You know what I'm saying? Like, he says something fabulous and he goes, yo, but me and you, we ain't party. Like, we need to party. What is he talking about? That's going on. When people say that to me, I get a little uncomfortable. I get uncomfortable. Like, he said something to me one time, a long time ago. At Chris Knighty's wedding, he told me he'd take me shopping. I looked at him like, what you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You're gonna make me mess up the wedding.
Oh, that's a nice gesture.
Let me get out of no. Take me. That's what a guy says to a girl.
Terrence and Diddy weren't even really friends to begin with. Diddy wasn't offering him a contract, a movie deal, or anything like that. I know Terrence has said some questionable things in the past, but what he described seemed to line up with Diddy's usual behavior, so it wasn't hard to believe what he was saying. What really helped Terrence, though, was the fact that he was already well known and didn't need Diddy's help to get ahead. From what Terrence says, he had already seen how messed up it was for other celebs to let themselves be used by Diddy. But even though he didn't go along with it, he still lost out on a lot of opportunities because he wasn't willing to play that game.
No matter how they did it, whether they were drunk or high or whatever, you gave up your man card. You need therapy. And that's the thing that hurts them the most. And so they end up on drugs, end up every way to try and get rid of any principles there are. And that's what the business does. And the women that trade their bodies to go and get the role, they get to the point where they have their Oscar, they have their money, but they don't have their dream. They don't have the soul that they started with. So it's like achieving don't mean anything.
And what about people like Bryshere, who were in vulnerable situations and couldn't say no? When it's not about the cost of your body, it's the cost of your career. Taraji faced a similar issue when she had to speak out about being underpaid for her work.
I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost. I'm tired of hearing my sisters say the same thing over and over.
That's how the industry works. You either give in or you struggle. When someone has been through so much and finally sees a way out, they'll usually take it, no matter the cost. Reports say that Taraji is glad Terrence is finally speaking up, and that more people are starting to shed light on the injustice Bryshere faced. It's painful to see someone like Bryshere end up like this, a talented person who was failed by the system in Hollywood. If Terrence Howard is telling the truth, then Hollywood isn't just corrupt, it's toxic. If those names were involved in Diddy's event, the whole system might be on the verge of collapse. Do you think Bryshere's lack of guidance in Hollywood is what led him down this path? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.